Hey friends, happy Sunday. That's a new one. I haven't said that for a while. Happy Sunday. Hope you have all had a great weekend and are ready for a new week. My name is Robin and I'm with Robin's 8 Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Chalk Couture. Once you hop on the live or the replay, please feel free to say hi in the comments and tell me where you are watching from. I am live in 2 locations, so if you hear me refer to a comment that is not in your feed, that person may be viewing and watching from a different platform. And if at any time during this project you like what you see and you think others should see it, please feel free to spread the craft love, tag your crafty friends, invite them to watch along with you, hit that thumbs up button, hit that heart button. Not only does that help my channel get seen by new eyeballs, that also helps the algorithm. It tells the algorithm that you like this kind of content, and then it will start pushing out content like this in your feed. So not only does it help me, it also helps you. So I greatly appreciate that. Let's go to the comments. I see that Jason is watching from the other side of the door. And as you can see, I'm playing with a few different views this evening. So if you like it, let me know. If you want me to switch back, let me know. If you like horizontal versus portrait, all the things. So I would greatly appreciate your feedback with that. I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera. Hello, Miss Ashley. How are you doing this evening? I did not see you at our typical Sunday meetup place. We were, our church project kicked off today, so we stayed through a little bit of the second service, so we were a bit late to our meetup place. Jason says he likes the camera angle. We're going to do a little bit of above camera stuff, but we may do some front facing as well. So we'll just see. I do like that I have the ability to do both. Okay, so I've been a busy little bee this week. I've been trying to get some stuff done for the tree farm, Watkins Tree Farm, that I'm going to have some stuff in. So now I have 3 booths that I'm trying to get things done for. So I had these little kind of 2-layered banners in my stash. I bought them at Walmart. I assume that they're still there. They're kind of in their craft section, in kind of their unfinished wood. So I either used acrylic, watered down acrylic paint, or I think I may have used the Folk Art wax. It's a little darker than the Waverly wax. Yeah, I think that's what I used. And then I distress painted them white. This December 25th is a size A transfer, as well as, actually, this is also a size A transfer. This one is a new one this year. This one came on an very old, I think either a C or D size transfer. It was with one of the Merry Christmas transfers. It had an augmented size D design, and then it had two like size A designs with it, and this was what one of those was. And then these two came on a 6 design size C transfer. This one says Santa Stop Judging Me, and then this one is Oh Snap. I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. Oh well. So I have chalked these ahead of time. They are all sealed, and now I'm just ready to embellish. So I'm going to tie some jute string on some, and then I have some fabric scraps. I have some jingle bells, and I have my hot glue gun ready to go. So we're just going to kind of hang out and embellish these. I need to also get my my little bow maker. If you hear either of the boys in the background, they're watching football, so don't mind them. Ashley says she's doing good. Missed the Sunday get together. You get in there and get out nowadays. Too much peopling. Yeah, once Halloween hits, I noticed that the Sunday mornings just gets busier and busier. I think it's just the holidays, the impending holidays. So we just remind each other that we have to put on our positive pants for that day. Our patient pants is what we call them. So we just have to remind ourselves that 'tis the season. Okie doke. I'm going to use just a little bit of this because I happen to have it laying here. So I'm going to put my tie string in my little bow maker. I have a ton of these fabric strips that are kind of Christmassy. I got the wild idea to wrap these around light strands, and so I'll have these until the end of time probably. So that's what we're going to use for all of these signs. So I'm just taking them, I'm actually going to cut them into thirds just to kind of make some smaller pieces. And then I'm going to cut those, and I'm going to tear those in half. So I just put a little strip. So if you find this boring, feel free to come and go. Or if you just want to hang out and chit chat, I would love to hang out and chit chat with you. But this is what we're going to be doing. So what did everyone do this weekend? I sealed a bunch of stuff. I made 7 glass candle holders with some upcycled jars. We may embellish those one night. If I get one of these, and I may not do all of these on camera tonight because that's just a lot of you watching me do stuff. So we may do a couple, and then remind me to show you the jars. I think they turned out super cute. So I'm just going to cut a few of these. Like I said, don't panic. I probably won't do all 6 of these on camera. I can't even count. So I sealed all 7 of those jars. And then I sealed the candy cane cafe round. And there's a few other signs that I needed to get sealed. And then while I was sealing, I decided to make a big old mess. And I was sealing stuff in my garage. And I decided while I was putting wet sealer on all of my stuff that I was going to sweep the garage. And then that turned into rearranging a few things and throwing some stuff away. And luckily, none of my stuff got all dusty. But so I spent a good hour and a half out in the garage. It looks better. It's not perfect, but it looks better. Floor's all nice and clean. My muscles are sore today. There were some muscles in my arms from sweeping that I have not used for a while, obviously. Got in the hot tub. Well, we went to Brahms, kind of to celebrate. And then got in the hot tub, which was fantastic. Do I have another? Oh, there's some green bandana pieces. Get a few of those out. Jason said I had a productive today. We both had a productive day. He did filled up 2 trash cans full of leaves yesterday. And then, like I said, today we were at the church most of the morning. So Ashley said she's been working on pin orders, blew leaves out of the backyard, and you went to Manhattan. Did you go to Manhattan for anything fun? I saw you've been busting out the pin orders, girl. You go. Okay, that's enough for right now. So I've got my little tie in my little mini Bodabra. I got this on Amazon. Just Google mini Bodabra. It's good for little bows like this. Otherwise, I'd be busting out my big one. So I just kind of crisscross my ribbons. I'm just going to keep crisscrossing them. Why my phone does not want to stay on my live. That is weird. Ashley says she picked up David's glasses. It's that time of year. Oh, you picked them up in Manhattan. Oh, I'm thirsty. Okay, let's keep going. Just keep adding ribbon until it's as fluffy as you want. It's so fluffy. I feel like I need some background music or something, but not on this platform. I think that's good on that one. So you just want to take your little tie string and I kind of pull it up just a little bit. And I'm going to tie it tight, and then I just kind of pull it out. And then it kind of makes like this tall stacked bundle. So I kind of squish it together. I might even add a little bit of this twine. I think I have some red and green. But we also went to Hobby Lobby because I went and got handles for my candy cane cafe round that we did Friday. So if you haven't seen that, you should go back and watch it. And if there's any that are sticking out wild and long, you can trim those. You can leave them. Whatever floats your boat. And then sometimes I take the 2 little tie strings and then I kind of just give it a shake. It kind of helps fluff it out a little bit. Okay, so then we'll do the Joy to the World. So I need some twine. I think this will work. Maybe. Okay, so I'm going to double this one. And these are really big tie holes. I'm not fond of those, but this might not be big enough. Nope. Okay, let's use the smaller stuff. So I'm going to put two. I think we're going to do it that way just because these holes are so big. So I'm going to double up each side, I think. I'm going to get another one out and use it as my template. Okay, so I need two of these. So I'm going to double this one, and then I'm going to double it again to get my little loop. And then I'm going to put the loop from front to back, and then I'm going to put my tails through that loop. Oops, I have totally messed that up. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I'm going to double it. I'm going to double it again. Get my loop. And then you want to tighten it, except I think I need to go, I always get this mixed up. I need to go forwards to backwards. And then tighten it, I think. So then I'm going to double this one, double it again, get my loop, put it through. Hello, Miss Mary. Mary from It's a Chalk Thing. Okay, I think that's going to give me enough room. Normally I wouldn't double it up like this, but these holes are so big in the banner. So then I'll just tie. I'm going to meet those all in the middle. I'm going to tie it differently. I didn't give myself enough. There's a lot of twine. It's not normally how I like to do it, but that's okay. It's done. Actually, I'm going to do it differently. Hold that thought. I normally like to make a knot, a slip knot like that, but I didn't give myself enough. So we're going to try just gathering it all up and kind of wrap knotting it this way. Just so it hangs a little better. Like that. I like that better. And I'm just going to gently tie it so that I can kind of even everything out. And I might tie it once, and then I'm going to turn around and tie it again in the back. And we'll put our knot back there. No. Not very decisive this evening. We'll put our knot in the front. And if it goes wild, it goes wild. It's quite all right with me. Oh wait, I like that better. And so then we're going to take our smushed little bow because it's been under my arm. And then we'll find the back side. Okay, and we're going to put a little dollop of glue, like right here beside that twine. And then we're going to pop that down there and hold it. So most of these transfers are super old. There's just a couple that are new. This one is probably, it's 2018, I'm almost positive. It's from there's a Merry Christmas to All transfer. It's a size, again, I think it's a size C or a D. And it had 2 small transfers and then 1 big one. Okay, and then we're going to grab our jingle bell. And I learned the hard way. If you want it to jingle, there's a little trick. You have to glue it upside down. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue. So I've been gluing it upside down so that I don't get that little clacker thing stuck in the glue. So I'm going to flip my sign over and I'm going to glue the jingle bell to the middle of my bow. I kind of shake it so that I can still hear the clacker, and then I'm not going to turn it over until I know that the glue is dried, because if I flip it back over, then it's going to get caught in that wet hot glue and it's going to get stuck. Ask me how I know. Of course, if you don't really like the jingle bell sound, then by all means you can glue the clacker down, but and just kind of adjust it. So there's one down. These are all going to kind of look the same. I don't know which one to do next. We'll go and do the Santa one since it's here. Give myself a little more. Okay, I'm going to be doubling that. So. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so these are gonna be my 2 strings. I'm gonna cut another one. Hopefully these will be a little longer than the last ones. Okay, so oops, again, we're going to double it, and then we're gonna double it again, and then that's our loop to put front through the back. Is that correct? Is that how we did it? I can't remember. Yep. I actually kind of liked tying the pieces together okay, so fold it at once, fold it again, and the only reason I'm doing it this way is because these holes are so big. Otherwise, I just use one. I wouldn't double it up the second time. And I usually like to knot it this way, but I didn't leave myself enough tails last time, although I kind of liked it tied, and we'll kind of see what it looks like this way. Yeah, it's too bulky. So that one is the one I need. Okay, so let's just tie this one again. I kind of liked how that looked. feel like I'm all fingers, all thumbs this evening. I don't understand why my phone is not staying on my wheel. Let's see if I can pull those any tighter. I'm going to pull that up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to trim these off just because they're a little long. Okay, so we'll make another bow. We'll bring that in. Hello, Miss Roberta. What is the surface that I'm using? These are little, they're about 4.5 by 7. They are unfinished wood tags from Walmart, from the unfinished wood section. They're kind of a double layer wood tag. I like them except for the big hang holes, but kind of making do with doubling up my twine. But I really like this surface. This is one of the 5 size A's from this year. This is these are all former, well, this is a former size A, but has a couple of different designs on it. And then these were from a size C that has the 6 designs on it. So like the 5 by 5-ish type designs. And then this one is from like a 2018 size C transfer that had 3 different designs on it. But yeah, I really like these. Okay, now, so we're just going to make another little bow kind of like this one. So I'm going to cut just some more fabric. How have you been, Roberta? I need to get back on and rewatch some of your past lives. I've been terrible about keeping up with everybody. Okay, so here's all my little pieces. Let's tear some more. I've got some green here. Here's some of the candy cane. So I'm just going to fold it into thirds-ish. And then cut those. And then tear these. I tried tearing it in one long strip and they don't tear right. So I cut mine into thirds. You've been good. I've been doing well. Just gearing up for the holidays. I have a new vendor booth this year, so I have 2 that I'm already in. And then friends from our church have a Christmas tree farm, so I'm going to try that out this year. So it's kind of a last minute push because, you know, that's kind of how I do everything around here. Last minute. Let's put a little bit of this. Got some of this black and white as well. What was I looking for? Some green bandana. And if you haven't watched me, I love fabric strips. I'm not a big bow person anymore. I just like fabric. It's a little more forgiving. Hello, Miss Bonita. She says sorry she was late. You were on the phone with your brother discussing Thanksgiving menu. Well, let's talk about our Thanksgiving menus. Does everyone have ham or turkey or something else? Let's talk about that first. We normally have turkey, but Jason and I made a oven smoked pulled ham a couple of weeks ago, and it was delightful. So we might do both, actually. Okay, so this is a good start. I'm going to find my twine, this kind of twine. Oh, I'm coming over to Miss Bonita's house for Thanksgiving. She's doing a Mexican food bar. We sometimes do that for Christmas. I tend to stick with traditional stuff for Thanksgiving, but then we kind of mix it up for Christmas. But Miss Bonita says she's doing a Mexican food bar, which sounds delicious. Since these are so small, I'm going to use some of this Christmas twine as my tie. So I'm just going to crisscross this stuff. I just kind of alternate the colors. I like to shop the remnant section at Hobby Lobby when I'm there. I also like the bandana aisle. It's my favorites because bandanas are two-sided, whereas like on this red one, the other side is this kind of white, not so pretty side. So I do like the bandanas because they're typically two-sided. I'm just, no rhyme or reason. I don't have a pattern. Just kind of whatever I grab. And these bandanas come in a multitude of colors and patterns. They have buffalo check. They have leopard, the watermelon. And they're a little larger than what a typical fat quarter would be. So what's going to be on your Mexican food bar, Bonita? Okay, I think let's keep going. Some of these may have to be trimmed because the green ones were a little long, but I think we'll just finish. And I'm not even going to group those. We're just going to stick those on there. Okay, so I pull up my little tie string. I'm going to tie it a little bit just to pop it out. And then I'm going to kind of smush, kind of tighten it. Ooh. And then we're going to tie that. And then I'm going to take my little tie strings and hold them, and then I'm just going to kind of give it a little shake, kind of fluffs it out a little bit, kind of fans me off. And then we're just going to kind of go around. I can see some of these are a little long. No rhyme or reason. Okay. And And then we'll bring our sign over. And I'm going to put a little dollop of hot glue over here. And we're just going to plop that down. I'm going to put another glue stick in the glue gun. Come on. Oh, it's not quite ready yet. That kind of hides all the sled, but that's okay. Cut some more of this off. It's a little long over here. Okay, and then we'll grab a jingle bell. Kind of find the center. I'm going to put my glue on my bell. And then we're going to flip it over so we don't glue the clacker. And I'm just going to hold that for a little bit. Make sure it still clacks while I'm holding it. There's something weird going on with this bow. Over here. Just give it a little trim. It still doesn't look very good. If it's too long and covers your design. Okay. There's that one. Let's see, it's been 30 minutes. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to show you the jars that I also did. And they also need to be embellished. I think we'll do this one, and I'm going to pull in this black and white fabric, and maybe we'll keep it a little simpler. Maybe we'll just do these three. Okay, so let's cut that one in half. So we're going to cut these into thirds. Ish. And then we're going to snip. I'm going to tear two at a time. Sorry, I keep clanging things on my glass mat. I need a little silicone pot holder or something to, or an old mouse pad to clank my scissors on. Okay, there's those. I'm just putting a snip down the middle and just giving it a little tear. I tried doing the whole strip earlier and it just was, a couple of them were going kind of cattywampus, so This way works a little better. I believe, and if Mary's still on, she can quote me. I just happened to look, and there's some new Black Friday sales, but it doesn't say when they start. It just says that they end on the 23rd. So there are some Black Friday sales that end tonight, and let's kind of go through those while so we have, let me know if you can still hear me. We have the fabric markers that you can get for $10. So I should be getting mine on Tuesday. So those would be handy for and I might, because I still haven't finished my Snoopy on the sled shirt. I inked the front, but I have not inked the little Snoopy on the sleeve. So I think I'm going to save, sweet, thanks Benita. I think I'm going to save the sleeve design, and when I get my fabric markers, that will be a perfect way to test those out. And then there is a free purchase with gift with a free gift with a $50 purchase. I said that totally backwards. And it is these sublimation hotel keychains. And you can also just buy the containers or the keychains by themselves. So I'll be anxious to play with those. And then we have 2 new sublimation heat transfers available, the Snow Pals and the Pray On It, and those each come in a 2-pack. And then currently all E-size transfers and select surfaces are 50% off. And I do know that in the new Black Friday sale, the C's and D's will be 50% off. And I did look earlier, and it looked like they were already on sale, but I could not find. There's a drawstring wine bag, and then there's also a free transfer with purchase, and it says something about flakes welcome, and it has snowflakes on it. That's all I know. So be looking at my business page for any of that information. But like always, I try not to be too salesy. Just here for the crafty fun. Okay, so we're just going to alternate these. Some are a little longer than others. Although, now that I think about it, I should just maybe should I add the red and green, or should I do black and white and the black background candy cane for kind of just a black look? What do y'all think? Should I add the red and green, or should I stick with the white and black theme for this one? I don't know. Let me know. And then I also just got this ribbon at Walmart. I might do something with that. I don't know. We'll see. Benita says white and black. I kind of agree with you on that one. So we'll save these. I'll save these for another one, and I'll just cut a few of these. I just happen to see it gets red and green, but it's still mostly black. Roberta says black and white as well. Go with that, ladies. Thank you. I mean, it does still have some red and green in it, but it's mostly black. I think that'll look pretty. I think it'll make that black and white stand out a little better. Okay. And I think need to find some more black and white twine. I just have some white here, but it's not, it's actually yarn, but I have it in my twine stash. So we'll use that, and then we'll just alternate. And I'm not even going to go color and color. We're just going to start grabbing pieces. Oops, not in screen. Oops. Okay, you guys didn't tell me your main dishes. Do you guys normally have ham or do you have turkey? Did we talk about this? I don't remember. I didn't see any answers except Bonita's Mexican food bar. So what do you have for your main dish for Thanksgiving? Which one's the one I just did? Black. Okay. Okay, I think we probably need to alternate this a little bit just because I'll end up with the same. Jason says turkey. Maybe we did finish the conversation. Okay, what about, do you call it stuffing or do you call it dressing? We call it, well, I think my mom, I don't remember. I call it stuffing. I think my mom might call it dressing. I don't know. I just call it good. Roberta says turkey always. I think we're going to do both. We had that oven smoked pulled ham we had the other day was really good. It was super easy. So let's tie this one off. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, so let's tie that tighter. Oops. Shouldn't have used that because it's technically yarn, so it doesn't actually stay tight. It stretches. Okay, struggling. Not for sure that got tight, but give it a little fluff. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off. And then, oops, forgot we got to do this. Let's cut another one. Roberta says she calls it dressing. She was told it depends on if it's in the turkey or in the pan. That makes a lot of sense. Because it would be stuffing if it was inside the turkey. That makes a lot of sense. So our family, well, my mom prefers cornbread stuffing. And I know Jason's mom used to make it mainly with just like white bread, and there's just some textural differences. It's got to go front to back. But my aunt So we're going to double this, and then we're going to double it again, and I'm going to put my loop from front to back, and then I'm going to bring my tails up through the loop. But my aunt is kind of one of those foodie kind of people, so she likes to make it with like weird stuff, like seafood, and it's not what I wanted. Oysters. That's not what I wanted either. Use that. I think this time I'm going to tie it off with a thinner twine. I don't know why my phone will not stay on my reel. Oops. Okay. So then we're just going to gather those. And we're just going to wrap this around. I know this is kind of a weird way to do it, but because it's so thick, there's so many strands of twine, because the holes are so big, the knots looked funny. So I'm just going to tie it, gather it, and tie it loosely, and then kind of pull and make sure everything is there. We go. Kind of bound together the way it's supposed to be, and then we'll grab the wrong. There we go. And then we'll tie that tight. And then we'll just kind of cut it to where everything's even. Okay. Mostly. You can kind of adjust it still. Okay, so we're gonna hot glue that up there. Roberta says her mom did a combo, always save the bread ends, toast, cornbread to make dressing. That's kind of how my mom always did it. I'm not as resourceful. I am not as resourceful. Actually, I buy the bagged breadcrumbs, like the stuffing breadcrumbs, and then supplement with a little bit of cornbread and some like hamburger buns. Like leave the hamburger buns out for a wee bit and let them get kind of crusty. My mom says she likes it, but she probably doesn't. I love my mom, but she's kind of picky when it comes. She is set in her ways when it comes to that. And Roberta, do you live in, is it Bixby Jenks over there by Tulsa? I think, if I remember correctly. That's actually my mom and dad both grew up in Muskogee, and then and Tulsa. My mom lived in Tulsa most of her life. My dad lived for a while in Muskogee. I still have relatives in Muskogee. I don't get down there very often. Just the black background. Thanks. That was a great idea. We'll find our other jingle bell. That one does not have a clacker. South Tulsa, almost Bixby. So that one didn't have a clacker either. My grandparents lived off of the interstate. I don't remember which one. I think if you headed, they lived, yeah. It was kind of like at 4th and Mingo. It wasn't near Owasso, but Owasso was like the interstate exit that they lived at. So you went one way to Owasso, and then the other direction went to 4th and Mingo. Benita says she's loving the black and white. I am too. I'm glad I listened to you, ladies. So I'm just gluing it upside down so that my clacker doesn't get stuck in the glue. And then I'll flip it back over as the glue is drying. Because if you're going to put a jingle bell on, it might as well make noise, right? And I accidentally hot glued the clacker the other day. Yeah, that one's really pretty. I like that one. I'm just going to trim it up a little bit. It kind of covers up a little bit of the Merry Christmas, but I'll give it a haircut. Keep cutting it a little bit. I like that one. There, super sweet. Okay, let me go get my jars because I'm super excited about those. Let me go snag these. So here's a lot of what I've been working on. Put those away. So remember, I also have these in here because I sealed them. Do you remember our decoupage transfer shapes? I learned a trick. If you have tried this and yours kind of turn out fuzzy like mine did, like after I scrubbed all the paper off and it dried, you could tell where it was still really fuzzy and blurry and just dull. Well, I used the Dixie Belle Gator Hide to seal it, and because it was kind of wet and glossy, it kind of fixed my fuzz problem. So it looks better using the Gator Hide to seal those. So I need to embellish these. Here's my Santa. I kind of rubbed a little bit of his face off. Would you guys, if it was embellished really cute, would you still buy it with half of his mouth missing? It definitely looks very vintage with half of it scrubbed off. Roberta says, look up Johnny Carson and Jack Webb skit on Dragnet per caper. Hilarious. Okay, so here's the glasses, the jars I did. These were all from my stash. So I cut some of these out on my cutting machine, so you could use a Cricut or a Cameo. So I have a tree, I have a little nativity scene, and then I had a snowflake. So I put these on the jars, and then on on 3 of them, I just chalk painted them. On the other 3, I used Dixie Belle's Bonding Boss, and then I chalk painted them. And then I gave them quite a few coats of paint, and then I sealed them, and then I peeled the vinyl decal off, and I used it as a mask, and this is what I was left with. So I'm going to put some like fake snow and then a little LED votive in these. And then I'm going to do some fabric strip embellishing on the neck, kind of like what we did with the signs. So that was the snowflake. Here's the Christmas tree. I think though next time I need to put it up. I need to raise the tree up so that my filler, candle filler is in here, and then my candle. So I think I need to put my tree like right there. And then these are the little nativity scene ones. They turned out really pretty. I was worried when I peeled, because there's so many layers of paint and sealer, that I was not going to get a good peel when I took the decal mask off, but they turned out super pretty. Roberta says, so creative. Thank you. Well, I can't take much credit. This one is a blue one. I really like the blue. I got it. I stole the idea from Pinterest. So I just got to figure out how to embellish the tops. And I think because the snowflake, it doesn't have a whole lot of open surface. I think next time I'll put a few smaller snowflakes maybe on the sides, just to give the candle a little more open area to shine through. But I'm pretty impressed with how they turned out, so I'm excited to get those embellished. So I'll have to save some more spaghetti sauce jars. Okie doke. Let me put this back in here because that way I don't forget. And then let me show you one more. Trying to finish up all these live projects that we did a while ago. This one was another decoupage or Mod Podge image transfer. We did this one. And so then I added leopard to each side. And so then I'll need to put like a bow or a tassel right here, but that's one of them. And then I did these a long time ago when I did the Highland Cow sign, where I upcycled these chalkboards and I added the wood beads. The chalkboards just look like this, so I added wood beads to them, and then I did the same jingle bell. So this one is the postcard. Bonita says wrap jute around the tops. That's kind of what I was thinking. Just something that's simple but yet. And then this is the Happy Holidays. It came on the same transfer that this came on, I believe. And then there was a Merry Christmas, a larger Merry Christmas. So then I have Reindeer Crossing, Happy Holidays, and the postcard. And I think that's about it. I've been trying to get a bunch of old projects finished. I think I'm going to try to use, I might try to take the wire out of this ribbon and just make kind of a messy bow with this. I think that's what I'm going to do. But we will, I've been on for an hour, which is pretty typical for me. Let me show you what we did this one. We did this one. And we did this one. So super fun. So if you happen to be at Walmart, look for these tags. And if I might look on the Walmart app and see if I can find them. They're just super cute little, they'd make great little oversized ornaments. You can make stocking tags with these used. They might be a little bit small for the monogram transfers we used to carry, but some of the larger fonts would work great. These would make great stocking tags. So yeah, okie doke. I will be live again tomorrow. I have another Chalk Couture project. I pre-pasted the Chalk Couture transfer on another surface. So we're going to do a little bit of watercoloring tomorrow. So if you want to watch that, come hang out. Jason says he loves them. Okay, so I'm going to hop off. I hope you all have had a great weekend. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.